In the humid lowlands of Central and South America, more than 4,000 years ago, a small understory tree began a quiet partnership with humankind. Its name was cacao, and from its bitter seeds would come one of the most beloved foods on earth. Long before chocolate filled shop windows, the peoples of Mesoamerica understood this tree as sacred. The Olmec, the Maya, and later the Aztec ground its roasted seeds into a dark, frothy drink, spiced with chili and maize. They believed the plant had been carried down from the heavens, and so the botanist Carl Linnaeus would one day grant it the name Theobroma cacao, meaning food of the gods. To the Maya, a cup of cacao was both medicine and ceremony. To the Aztec, the beans were currency itself, counted out to buy cloth, labor, and tribute. A handful of seeds could purchase a meal, and a basket of them could mark a person wealthy. When Spanish ships carried cacao across the Atlantic in the 16th century, Europe was slow to embrace its bitterness. Only when sugar was added did the drink begin its conquest of the courts of Madrid, Paris, and London. The cacao tree itself is a creature of shadow and warmth. It grows only in a narrow belt within 20 degrees of the equator, where rainfall is heavy and the air never cools. It cannot endure frost, drought, or harsh sun, and so it thrives beneath taller trees that shelter it like a canopy of guardians. From its trunk and oldest branches sprout small pink and white flowers, a strange habit called cauliflory. These blossoms are so delicate that they depend almost entirely on tiny midges, no larger than a pinhead, to carry their pollen. Of the thousands of flowers a single tree produces, only a few will ever become fruit. Those that survive swell slowly into pods, ridged and bright, ripening to gold, crimson, and deep purple over 5 or 6 months. Each pod hangs heavy from the bark, holding within it 30 to 40 seeds wrapped in sweet white pulp. Harvest is patient, careful work, done almost entirely by hand. Because the pods do not all ripen at once, farmers walk their groves again and again, cutting the ripe fruit with curved knives and long poles, careful never to wound the fragile bark that will flower again. The pods are split open, and the seeds and pulp are scooped out and gathered into heaps or wooden boxes. There, hidden from the eye, the most important transformation begins. For several days the beans ferment, warmed by their own pulp, their bitterness softening and the deep flavors of chocolate awakening within. Afterward, they are spread across raised platforms and patios to dry beneath the sun, raked and turned until they are ready for the long journey to the world's factories. Today, cacao is no longer the secret of the Americas. The greatest harvests now come from West Africa, where Ivory Coast and Ghana together produce well over half of the world's supply. Indonesia, Ecuador, and Nigeria follow, and across the tropics some 5 to 6 million farmers tend the crop, most of them working small plots of just a few acres. From their labor flows an industry worth well over $100 billion each year. Yet the tree that gave us such sweetness carries a bitter shadow. Many of those who grow cacao earn only a few dollars a day, far below a living wage, and the demand for cheap beans has driven deforestation and, in places, the use of child labor. The plant is fragile too, threatened by disease, by aging groves, and by a warming climate that may shrink the narrow band of land where it can grow. Researchers now race to breed hardier trees and to map the cacao genome, hoping to secure its future. From a sacred drink of ancient kings to a bar unwrapped by a child, cacao has traveled an extraordinary road. It remains a plant of contradictions, demanding shade and patience, generous yet fragile, beloved across every continent, and yet still rooted in struggle. Each square of chocolate holds within it the warmth of the tropics, the labor of millions of hands, and the long memory of a tree that humans once believed belonged to the gods.